Welcome to Our Hometown, the show where we take an in-depth look at some of the people and organizations that make this area unique. On this month's show, we'll learn about the men's basketball program at Brunswick Community College with Coach Walter Shaw. Then we'll speak with Stacy, Gause, and Sandy Hardee with Oceanic Adult Day Health Care Center to learn about what services are available for primary caregivers here in Brunswick County. And lastly, we'll sit down with Mary Ellen Poole and Cindy Brochure to talk about the Happiest Seaside Town Award that the city of Southport has been nominated for. So stay with us for the next half hour as we explore our hometown. My guest is Coach Walter Shaw. Coach Shaw is the head coach of the men's basketball team at Brunswick Community College, and I'm one of your biggest fans. Coach, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
You've got a great story, and these are the types of interviews that I most enjoy sometimes. You're a Columbus County native?
Yes, Columbus County native from Riegelwood, North Carolina.
You were a 3 or 4 sport athlete there?
Yes, lettered in 4 sports at East Columbus High School. And people normally wouldn't associate me now with the 4 sports in which I played.
All right, tell us what they were.
They were tennis, track and field, basketball, and football.
Right, it is very interesting, very interesting. Did you always want to be a coach?
Yes, I always wanted to be a coach. I thought I would be at an early age. My goal was to go to college, be a physical education teacher and coach. At the high school level, and then some opportunities came to me while in college that allowed me to be a college coach.
All right, you're 13 or 14 years old. Are you already thinking then maybe I want to be a coach?
Yes, actually I did. I mean, you know, there are times in life when people think they know what they want to be.
Sure.
I knew what I wanted to be at an early time. Coaching is what I really wanted to do, and didn't really know the avenue of how I would get into it. Those who know me often see me with company that's older than me. And I always would associate myself with older people who happen to be coaches.
Right.
In my neighborhood, there was a retired coach, Coach Corbin, who was the legendary baseball coach at Hoggard High School in the 70s and the late, in the Williston High School in the late 60s. And actually, he was the tennis coach at Williston that had Althea Gibson back in the 60s.
I remember Althea Gibson.
And he just happened to live in my neighborhood. And while I was in high school, you know, he was retired, and I would often go to his house and talk basketball and other sports in life.
Right.
And I'd also follow other coaches, and it allowed me to just get knowledge and insight that a lot of people at my age wouldn't have at that time.
Right. Well, the story of how you got from there to here is interesting, and I want to walk you through it because our viewers would be very interested in knowing it. You graduated, you finished high school, and then you went to UNCW?
Yes.
All right. Tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll follow up on that.
Well, during my senior year in high school, I was having to make a decision on whether or not I was going to go play college football or go to UNCW. We happened to have a basketball camp, and one of the assistant coaches at UNCW came to our camp, and he saw that I had kind of advanced insight from the coaching perspective, and he offered me a chance to come there as a manager.
Good.
And what that allowed me to do is get insight into a college program and what all that entailed. Subsequently, during that time, Coach Gene Doan, who was the first coach at BCC, who was a former South Brunswick coach, which I knew of because I tried to spend my time studying different coaches in the area, though I was in high school, came to our high school and said that there was going to be basketball at Brunswick Community College starting next season, and that was in 1995. And
you saw an opportunity. And
I saw an opportunity, but I didn't know how I would get there and what would happen. What happened there, however, is I went on to UNCW, and a couple of my high school teammates went on to BCC as a part of their first class.
Okay.
And during that time, BCC didn't have their own facility, and myself as the rookie manager at UNCW was responsible for allowing BCC BCC to come into UNCW and practice.
All right, let's stop for a minute because I want our viewers to appreciate that it's only very recently that BCC has had its own facility, and for a number of years, you and your teams played where?
We played at every gym in Brunswick County.
That's right. Yeah.
Every high school, every middle school. We even would have practice even at the park at times or at the Southport gym.
So over the years, you were building a top-flight program with virtually no facilities in which to practice and play.
That's correct. And you know, all that we used to say and the mantra we used was, as long as we have 2 baskets and a ball, we were okay.
Right.
And so what we, as my role as the manager at UNCW and seeing how BCC needed help, you know, at the end of that year, I approached Coach Doan about the possibility of me joining his staff. He didn't have any help.
To be an assistant coach?
To be an assistant coach.
Right.
The Coach Wainwright, who was the head coach at UNC Wilmington at the time, I talked to him about the possibility of, you know, trying to learn more about the game, and he offered me a chance to, or he gave me a suggestion to either see if I could join BCC or maybe go help over at Hoggard High School with Coach Sheila Bowles at the time. I chose BCC because I felt more comfortable and I knew the staff.
Sure.
And I knew the team because I not only had I played against most of them or played with them in high school, I got to know Coach Doan pretty well as a mentor.
And within a few years, you assumed the head coach position.
Yeah.
Right?
At that time, I took over as assistant coach for the remainder of my college stay, and upon graduation the following year, I became the head coach. So at 23, I became the head coach of the BCC men's basketball team. And that was a shock also. I thought I was headed to Winthrop as a graduate assistant for Coach Greg Marshall, the famous now coach at Wichita State. But I got offered a job as a head coach at 23 years old, and I took it.
And you've been here since then?
I've been here since then.
I had some of the numbers wrong, so I'm just going to rely on you.
Okay.
How many years have you been the head coach now at BCC?
This is my 15th season.
And you've won how many games?
Currently,
am I right? 299?
Currently sit at 299.
At the time of the taping of this show?
At the time of the taping. We hope to get 300 tonight. We have, but also, you know, that is an average of over 20 wins a year.
Fantastic.
And we've had 10 20-win seasons. Played 5 conference championships, 2 tournament championships, trip to the national tournament in Kansas, and we've lost for the chance to go to Kansas to the national tournament in the last 2 years, but we're very proud of our program and what we've been able to accomplish.
You should be, and some of our viewers will be surprised to know what an enormously successful program you've had here these last couple of decades. And of course, this is your chance to invite them to come out and see you guys play.
Yes, we have a great brand of basketball. Every time we play on the court, people who watch us play for the first time are often surprised at the level of the talent that they see on the court.
Absolutely.
Very often you will see high-level college coaches there scouting. You will see anywhere from 5 to 10 Division I players on our team at any one time. And if you follow our program, you'll see those young men move on to 4-year colleges at a later time, and you'll see them either on TV or follow them through the internet.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about your players, but let's remind them all that you now play at a terrific facility, the Dynagore facility at BCC.
Yes, I mean, that has been a big-time blessing. You know, being in the situation we were, and for the voters to step up and help us, along with helping the entire community with all the needs of the community, which our need was just one of them, to have a first-class facility as we do. And I pride myself in saying I think we have the best facility of any 2-year college in the state.
I bet.
And
now here's a question that came to my mind. How and where do you find your players? I know some of your players come from all around the country.
Well, it's one of those things where success breeds success. You know, when I started coaching, what I tried to do is get players from different pockets of the state. And try to ensure that player had success. So I can always have a reference point when I went back to that area of a player that came here, was successful.
I see.
And therefore, they would feel more comfortable in sending a player here. However, that has really never been the emphasis of what we were trying to do in reference to getting players and winning games. Where it really all started was one of the high school teammates that I referenced earlier who came to BCC, at the end of his 2-year stay, he wanted to move on to a 4-year college. And at the time, BCC didn't necessarily have the infrastructure in place to help him with his courses, the necessary courses to get there. It took him an extra time to go back. So I had to learn the hard way about how to help young men get an opportunity to move to the next level. So from that point, my goal was to help as many young men as I possibly can get to the next level. And when you send players to the 4-year colleges didn't want to help you. So that goes back to, how do we get players from different areas? Oftentimes they're identified by colleges in their area, and they want to send them to us because we do a good job of helping them mature and learn what they need to do to be college athletes, and help them move on back to the 4-year college.
That leads me into the next area, and that is the mentoring that you do and the teaching that you do, because you're not just a coach, you're very much a mentor and a teacher to these young men who are terrific athletes, but very young, let's remember, and in need of modeling.
Yes. I've always prided myself in surrounding myself with a team of people that can help me get through anything in life. And one of the things that I'm most proud of is the coaching staff that I've been able to assemble in my 15 years with Brunswick Community College. A lot of those guys don't necessarily even get the credit. A lot of people don't even know that they're there. But I have 3 assistants. 2 of them have been with me for the entire 15-year duration.
Wow.
And Ken, most notably known as Tiger Aldridge, former UNCW player, who's a mental health professional, along with Michael White, which you have interviewed before here on the show,
Sure.
Who's a minister here in the area, motivational speaker. And we also have the recent addition of Carl Parker Jr., who is a former Brunswick County athlete at South Brunswick High School, who was an all-league player at William and Mary, the College of William and Mary, and professional ball player who happened to just move back to the area. And so when you surround young men with talent like that and people like that, you have a minister, you have a social worker, you have a coach with a ton of experience and a former pro basketball player. They have no choice but to figure out what it takes to be successful.
Well, you get these young men, and they're very young, they're green, not yet completely mature, and your goal, I'm sure, is to leave them you only have them for 2 years, to send them on to a 4-year school as a much more mature young man and a much finer basketball player.
And that's the goal, is taking young men who often don't know what it takes to make it.
Right.
Often they are first-generation college students, so
good point. Excellent.
So their families don't even know what they're really up against.
Sure.
And putting them in a situation, kind of giving them a plan, showing them the way, of what it takes for them to make it to their next destination. And as we do with all students at the college, we're trying to help them to their next destination, whether it's the workforce, whether it's the 4-year university. In basketball, most of these guys are trying to follow the dream of playing at a 4-year university. And
many of them do.
Yes. Fortunately, I have, as a coach, you're always looking at numbers.
Sure.
Analytics mean a lot. We've talked about the 15 seasons. We've talked about the 21 seasons. And the number I'm most proud of is there have only been 4 young men who've played in their sophomore year at Brunswick Community College and not got a scholarship to a 4-year college.
Coach, I want you to say that again so our viewers will hear it.
Well, we've only had 4 young men who've completed their sophomore year at Brunswick Community College and played a part on our men's basketball team that haven't moved on to a 4-year college to play basketball.
That's a powerful statement and a great tribute to you. We're about to wrap this up, but I don't want to wrap it up without asking you, where do you want to be 5, 10, 15 years from now?
Well, fortunately, I've had great opportunities at Brunswick Community College, and each day seems like another door is open, going from working as a recruiter in student services to helping manage the new Fitness and Aquatic Center, which is not new anymore, to now transitioning into the classroom where I am now an instructor in the Health and Fitness Science program. I would love to see that program grow as the basketball team has grown and get more recognition, along with helping more people get to their destination in life.
So you're truly a teacher, not just a coach, but a coach and teacher now. And we thank you for being with us. It's just a great story, Coach.
Thank you very much
Thanks
for having
so
me, and look forward to seeing people come out and watch us play.
Absolutely. Thanks again. My guests are Sandy Hardee and Stacy Gause. They are with the Oceanic Adult Day Healthcare Center. Ladies, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Let's start with you, Ms. Hardee. Tell us what the purpose of your organization is. What do you really do?
We're designed specifically for elderly and adults who need a safe, nurturing, stimulating environment. We provide activities, health screening, meals, exercise plans, lift the spirits of those that have been afflicted by dementia or depression, stroke, things like that.
Okay, let's underline the word day. Your clients come to you during the day and they stay
Yes.
during the day and then they leave. We want to be clear about that.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, first tell us where you're located. Our viewers need to know more about you and your organization. Either one of you.
We're at 712 Village Road, Suite 102 in Charlotte, in the Red Apple Building.
Okay, people know the Red Apple Building if
yes.
they live within a few miles of Charlotte.
Right.
Okay. Your hours of operation, we've already talked a little bit about it, but tell us more.
They're from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and the first Saturday of each month from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., depending on need.
Okay. Who might be eligible for your services? I mean, give us the broad range of those that you might provide services to.
Anyone over the age of 18, they might have a need of monitoring, medication administration, socialization, as a respite for primary caregivers.
All of those things, really.
Absolutely.
Right.
They have to have adequate mobility. They have to be able to assist in transferring themselves.
Right. So transportation is provided by the client or the family or someone other than your office.
Correct.
Your facility. Okay. What's a typical age range? I mean, I know you said 18 and above. Are most of your clients senior citizens? Is that fair to say?
Most of them are. We do have some younger ones, but the majority of them are elderly people.
Okay. Ms. Hardee, let me turn to you. Tell us about the services that are provided, a little more particularly.
We have individualized care plans, medication administration if someone has a need to have medication during the day. We prepare their meals, breakfast, lunch, and an afternoon snack. And we do crafts, music, games,
That's
exercise.
where I was going, according to the needs of the client.
Absolutely.
Okay. So there's no real single activity. They might be uniquely designed for that person.
Right.
Whether it's music or quiet time or medication.
Yes.
And of course you work with each client individually. What about costs?
There's lots of ways to have it paid for.
Okay.
We do have private pay, and that is based on their level of care. We also, there's pay through the Veteran Affairs. It's if you're enrolled in the primary care through the VA, and you have to meet their criteria. There's also Medicaid through the Community Alternative Program, also known as CAP. There's two ways to get paid through the Brunswick Senior Resources. One is their Home and Community Care Block Grant. The other is a Family Respite Program. Also through Social Services, it's a new program this year. They have the Adult Daycare Voucher Program, where our clients can come to the center one day a week free of charge.
So for our viewers, if they had a family member that wanted to avail themselves of your services, first off, they could be in touch with you.
Right.
But secondly, they could know of the wide variety of options that are available for the payment of these services.
Right.
Okay. Ms. Gause, tell us about the costs.
Our costs range from $45 to $53 a day, and that depends on the level of care, which is determined during the initial assessment with the health care coordinator during your first visit.
Well, how about half day? Do you have that?
We do. It's $40 a day, and it's up to 4 hours.
Okay. We failed to mention you're open 5 days a week, but you have some occasional Saturdays as well, do you not?
Yes, we open the first Saturday of each month. It's from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. On an as-needed basis.
Let's talk about some of your clients. My guess is that many of your senior citizens really look forward to coming every day and being with you and your staff. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you tell me of a few personal experiences that either you or your clients have had?
Every day is definitely experience for us, but we love every bit of it. The clients are wonderful. We do have a particular client whose spouse says it has made such a difference in him.
I'll bet.
And it's just an amazing transformation, she thinks, because he's getting the socialization that he isn't getting at home, the activity. You know, she's busy trying to take care of household things and everything else, so they can't always do what might need to be done for them to help stimulate them a little bit.
And that's the story I want our viewers to appreciate, that when these individuals come to your place, they not only get proper medical attention, but they get the love and socialization that we all need each and every day. And,
Yes.
and that's what makes your facilities very special.
Yes.
Right.
Ms. Hardee and Ms. Gause, we thank you for being with us today. We'll make sure phone number and information is provided to our viewers, and we wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My guests are two very special ladies from the town of Southport. Mary Ellen Poole is the Mayor Pro Tem, and Cindy Brochure is the Director of Tourism. Ladies, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have such a great story. I'm excited that you're here to talk about Southport. Let's first off talk about the competition that you're in. Mary Ellen, could you tell us about that?
I can, and thank you again for having us. The city of Southport has been selected as one of the top 10 of America's happiest seaside towns.
Wow.
And we were nominated by Coastal Living, the magazine, and we are very excited about this.
Wow, I'm as excited as you are, because Southport really is the real deal. It's just such a great little town. Cindy, you have competition, but we're going to talk about how to win the contest here in a few minutes.
We do have competition, but we don't have competition in Virginia, North Carolina, or South Carolina. We're the only one named in the top 10 out of those 3 states.
Wow.
The way to win, we got to vote. We got to get the whole state rallied with us to vote for Southport, bring it home for Southport and North Carolina.
We're going to remind our viewers several times of the need to vote.
Absolutely.
But before we get there, what does the winner get if and when Southport wins?
The recognition and the honor of being able to call themselves the happiest seaside town in America, which we've known for a long time, but now the rest of the nation's going to know it. We also get a lot of publicity. We're in this month's issue of Coastal Living as one of the top 10. And then even if we don't win, we will still be in the competition list and what rank we made it up to in the July and August, Mary Ellen, was that
Yes.
it?
Yes, July and August.
Issue of our Coastal Living. We're on the website. You can go vote right now. Just look for the vote for the happiest town, seaside town, and just keep hitting it every hour, every day
You
till
can
31st.
vote more than once, right?
Every hour of every day till July 31st.
Okay, the competition is called the Top 10 Happiest Seaside Towns.
Correct.
What's so happy about Southport? I'll ask either one of you.
Okay, what is so happy about Southport? The criteria that Coastal Living used is they use social media and nominations. And we were a dream town in the past. And what they did is they looked at the Gallup polls for healthiness of our citizens.
Okay,
And
great.
that was one of the criteria. Also, they looked at our city and how the air quality, how the walkability of the town.
Absolutely.
And they said it had a good coastal vibe.
Right.
And that's what we think too.
Yeah.
And we've also done a video of our citizens and our community that I think people will really enjoy.
Well, the criteria are very interesting. I didn't know what the criteria were, but that's great. How is Southport going to win this friendly competition?
We're taking it statewide. We're taking the marketing
Okay.
and promotion statewide. We're using social media to spread it out on Facebook. When we have cards that we're handing out to everyone, we're asking the residents of Brunswick County, Southport, and all the state of North Carolina to help us with this
You have your
competition.
buttons on, I noticed.
Yes,
I
we
love
do.
Southport.
We love Southport.
And we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
What can individuals do? They can talk, they can vote, they can join Facebook, the social media.
Yes, sir. And what will really help is when you post it on your Facebook or in your Twitter, or even send it to the people in your contact list, the link. We will have the video available at www.cityofsouthport.com.
And we'll post that on our show.
Awesome. And then
Great.
just share, and just ask for the vote. I don't care if they're Brazil, Germany, just go ask them and
You can
they'll
vote from around the world.
Go vote for Southport and share pictures. The residents
Sure.
and local people in Brunswick County, post pictures of Southport on your social media. That will help get us the votes. We've got some stiff competition, a lot bigger towns, but we're Southport and we can do this.
Small
We'll
but
bring it home.
small but of great heart.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of people that are enthusiastic about our city statewide. We have people in the visitor center from all over the world, and we're going to reach out to everyone.
Okay. Let's talk about the period for voting. I understand that voting concludes the end of March. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yes,
So that gives our viewers the entire month of March
the entire
in which
month.
to vote.
Exactly.
Vote early and vote often.
Vote
vote
early.
every hour.
Yeah. Just
Once an
keep it
hour.
up on your computer screen or on your cell phone, on your iPad. It's very, very easy. Just go to coastalliving.com and look for Vote for the Happiest Seaside Town.
Great. As we conclude, what's one thing that's most interesting about Southport that I or our viewers might not know?
Southport was established in 1792, and we like to say we've been waiting for you since 1792.
Wow.
And that's something that we like to tell people. Our city was established as Smithville, and then it was changed to Southport. And we are at the mouth of the Cape Fear River, which is the jewel of our town.
That's a great way to end our show. Ladies, thanks for being with
You're
us.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank
telling
you
the story
so
about
much.
Southport.
Thank you.
Hey girls, look, Coastal Living's nominated Southport as one of the top 10 happiest seaside towns in America.
Well, we're definitely that. And it says you can vote every day, every hour from February 13th to March 31st.
So how do we get people out to vote? Well, every good politician will tell you if you want to win, you have to ask people to vote.
So let's go vote. Yeah, let's go.
Show it. If you're happy here in Southport, clap your hands. If you're happy here in Southport, stomp your feet.
If you're happy here in Southport, stomp your feet.
If you're happy and you know it, if you're happy here in Southport, stomp your feet. If you're happy here in Southport, stomp your feet. If you're happy here in Southport, say amen. Amen. If you're happy here in Southport, say amen. Amen. If you're happy and you know it,
Go online and vote to show it.
if you're happy here in Southport, say amen. Amen.
If you're happy here in Southport, do all three.
If you're happy here in Southport, do all three. If you're happy and you know it, go online and vote to show it.
Thanks for joining us this month on Our Hometown. If you have a story that you'd like to share on a future show, visit us at atmctv.com to tell us about it. Thanks again for joining us. Tune in again next month as we explore more of Our Hometown.